Today I will be showing you how to make an easy clay pinch pot. In the photo, it shows two kinds of air dry clay and some basic clay tools. For the pinch pot, you really only need your hands, but I will show you how to use a few of the clay tools in the photo. First, I am cutting off pieces of the clay using a wire cutter. For the pinch pot, I will use the Crayola clay that is to the left, and later in the video, I'll be using the Amico clay to make a slab-built bowl, which is basically a bowl made by rolling the clay out into a slab. Now I am kneading the clay to make it softer and easier to work with. It also removes the air bubbles that may be trapped in the clay, which can cause the pinch pot to crack or even break later. When you press the clay like this, you are also lining up the clay particles to make it stronger. Once the clay starts to feel softer, you need to start rolling it into a ball in order to form the pinch pot. Roll it around firmly in your hands and stop to smooth the cracks with your fingers. You will start molding the pot by pressing your thumb gently into the center of the ball and rotate it with the other hand. You can see how I am pressing up against the sides of the pot while the other hand supports it. You want to thin out the sides of the pot instead of thinning out the edge of the pot where it can crack and break easily. Stop often to smooth out any cracks that start to form with your fingers. To start creating a level bottom for your pinch pot, you'll need to tap it a few times on the table. You can take turns pressing the sides and tapping to get the look you want. Sometimes you have to resort to using a tool to smooth out the cracks. A plastic or butter knife is great to scrape and smooth down the edges of your pot. Now with the knife, I'm also using a clay tool called a spoon-shaped loop tool. It works a lot like the knife, but it creates a smoother look like a spoon would. If you don't have this tool, a spoon or handle works great. To get a real handle on these cracks, wouldn't it be nice to have something like glue? Well, I decided to make some. It's called clay slip. It's like glue for clay building. You just break off pieces of the clay, or you could use dried up pieces and put them in a container and add a small amount of water. Take a spoon and start pushing up the clay to make it break down into a paste. Apply the slip to the edges with a brush. The brush can be used as a tool also to help in the smoothing process. The slip fills in the cracks, kind of like how grout works for the tub or the sink in a bathroom. Brush some slip all around the inside of the bowl to fill in all the cracks that formed. As you were pressing your thumb and applying pressure, it caused the clay to stretch and break. Let's finish the pot by smoothing the outside. Alternate by brushing on the slip, using your tools, and smoothing with your hands. Repeat the process as you work your way around the bowl. This is where you really decide how polished you want your pot to be. You can leave a few fingerprints for texture or smooth it completely for a nice clean finish. Hands-on will give it more texture. Using just the tools and brush will make it appear more smooth. Take your time here. The final finishing stage makes a big difference in the final look of your piece. Remember, I sped up the video. Slow, gentle movements will give you the best results. The pinch pot is finished and we are ready for the next project. It's called a slab-built bowl using a slump mold method. What that basically means is we will be making a slab of clay by rolling it out like cookie dough, then laying it over a bowl. The bowl will act like a mold and the clay will take form of the bowl. In order to be able to roll out the clay, it needs to be soft and flexible. Repeating what we did before. Using a rolling pin, cup, or a bottle to gently roll out the clay. Notice I put my hands on the roller itself instead of the handles. Sometimes the clay is too hard and puts too much pressure on the handles and they can break. Roll until the clay is thin but not too thin. I'm filling in any cracks that may have formed with the slip and smoothing it with my hand. I'm going to simply lay the clay over the bowl and add more slip to help with the stretching process. The clay has to go through a pretty significant stretch over the bowl. I'm pressing the sides firmly to help the clay take form to the bowl, then smoothing more with the loop tool. I realized something was wrong when I tried to take the clay off and it tried to stick to the bowl. A quick fix with some parchment paper did the trick. I just repaired the tear quickly and placed the clay back on the bowl. I then pressed the sides firmly as I did before, helping the clay take on the shape of the bowl. This time, before I took it off, I decided to go ahead and trim all around the edges of the bowl. I thought it would be easier to cut it while it was against the base of the bowl. Once the clay is off the bowl and the parchment paper removed, I can better access how the edges look. They still don't look that even. So I decided to trim the edges with the wire cutter. You have to be very careful because you can trim away too much. Notice how I'm turning the bowl around and seeing if the edges are straight enough. Then it's time for some more smoothing. Again, I am alternating tools and brushing with the slip. Just like with the pinch pot, you are in the finishing stages. Now is the time to make decisions on how polished you want your clay piece to be. For the inside, I am starting with the loop tool because the parchment paper left lots of wrinkles to smooth out. After using the loop tool to smooth down all the wrinkles, I will add another final layer of slip all around the inside and on the edges of the bowl. And there you have it, a finished slab-built bowl with my pinch pot. Since I had so many scraps left over, I'm going to prepare more slip for my future clay projects. This clay will have time overnight to soak in the water and dissolve into a better paste. Next, we need to think about how to dry our pottery. The pottery will need to air dry for several days before we can paint them. For faster and more even drying, you can place the pottery on a drying rack that you find in your kitchen. As an added bonus, you can experiment with some clay tools or kitchen items to create textures on your pottery. I'm using a fork to create lines that repeat all over the top half of my pinch pot. Next, I am taking a needle tool, or you can use a toothpick or even a pencil to draw a design on the bottom half. I decided to do a zigzag line using the needle tool. I then repeated it to create a double zigzag all around the bottom half of the pottery. I hope you enjoyed making these pieces. Join me for part 2 where you can learn how to make a coil pot. See you next time.